sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Listen, if you're like me, you hate doing admin crap. Number one, because you're not good at it. And number two, because you know it's taking you away from the stuff that actually makes you money. So why are you doing it? Do what I did. Go to worksby.com right now and let them pair you with a real executive assistant. Once I started working with Cheryl at Worksby, my income went up 40% in 1 month, and my working hours went from 70 down to 40. It's a game changer. Go to worksby.com right now, book a call, and tell them Walker sent you. If you do, you'll get 2 extra hours of service for free as a bonus. So if you're ready to finally stop doing the stuff you hate and focus on the stuff that makes you money, go to worksby.com right now. That's WORXBEE.com. Tell them Walker sent you, and you'll get those 2 free hours. One of the things that's been on my mind lately is that at some point here, and we got a glimpse of it, I hope we can keep the glimpse of it, we're going to be able to get back out and be around people in business face to face. I know it's been happening. It's happening more and more and more. Thank God for the last 4 to 6 months. And now, shit, maybe we're going to get shut down again. I don't know. Hopefully not as bad as last time. However, one of the big tools that is unavailable to us during a pandemic, one of the best prospecting tools in my mind, is networking. And I realize we can do this over Zoom. We can do this over different channels, different ways we can do that. But face-to-face networking, shit, there's hardly anything better, a better way to go find new business. So today, what I want to share with you is a technique, a talk track, so that you can have conversations with anybody and they'll think you're charming. This is not magic. It's something that my father taught me a long time ago. He I wish he told me before I was 32 years old, but he said, Walker, GD, he said, you talk too damn much. I was like, okay, Dad. And he said, I want you to work really hard on being interested and not so hard at being interesting. Work very hard at being interested, not so hard being interesting. Well, that was kind of wild because I'd spent the first 32 years of my life trying to be interesting, right? Trying to be entertaining and to do things that that I could talk about and which is fine, right? However, you'll bore people to death. After you get off your stage, right? You bore people to death. Much more engaging. You can come across as a much more wise person if instead of trying to be so interesting, you work to be interested in the people you're talking to. Such an amazing thing that seems so obvious now that I know it, but I got to tell you, it's something that very few people do well. In a decent conversation with somebody, even just a regular conversation, if you focus on speaking only 30% of the time and have the person you're talking to speak 70% of the time, it is amazing how much better your conversations will be, how much more you can learn about that other person. And you know what the person you're talking to learns? Wow, this person thinks I'm important. This person is valuing me and my opinions. That's a big damn deal to be known as a conversationalist who doesn't have to talk that much. My father was that way. He was a lawyer. He lived to be 95, died a couple of years ago. My father was charming. But if you ever watched him, he didn't talk that much. He asked great questions. He made people laugh at themselves. He laughed with them. But the point was, he was sincerely curious about other human beings. He wanted to know what made this person across from him tick. And that was kind of his shtick. That's one of the things that he got a real kick out of. And as I watched and I learned, I realized that every single human being on the planet, there's something I can learn from, something of value to me that I can learn. And I know that there's value to other people. and letting them tell their stories. So what I thought I would share with you guys today is something that you can use with you. What I can share with you today, No BS Sales Team, that you can use in almost any situation when you're not sure what in the world should I talk about. How am I going to handle this? Either you're at a networking event, or you're at a dinner party, or you're at a cocktail party, or whatever, and you're wondering either around people that you know or people you have no idea who they are. Let's put it in a business context, since that's why we're all here. There's this thing called the 3-foot rule, which is anytime you're within 3 feet of somebody else and you're both standing still, ask the question, what do you do? The 3-foot rule. Anytime you're within 3 feet of somebody else and you're both standing still, what do you do? It's amazing the kind of people you can meet. And it's a very effective thing. People want to tell you that, right? They may want to tell you that, I guess. But there's no harm in asking. A great follow-up to what do you do if you want to get a reaction is, that sounds easy. Say it with a straight face, say it with deadpan, and what you'll get is a response back, an emotional response back, where they tell you how effing wrong you are about thinking how easy that is. You can laugh at this point, right? Like, you were kidding. But I love that. Hey, what do you do? I'm a brain surgeon. Oh, that sounds easy. And watch them get an emotional response, right? People respond emotionally. That's what we want. We want people to respond emotionally. You can engage with people emotionally that way. It's a great way in a business networking situation. What do you do? Hey, that sounds easy. You can, I guess, you can say it with a smile on your face. You got to tailor it. You say it with a smile on your face like you're being sarcastic, or you can say it deadpan and then smile when they come back at you. Either way is fine, but it's a nice way to begin to engage in conversation. Here is a secret that I've shared with my clients. I will share with you, and I'm going to do this under the guise that you will tell me how it worked. I'm getting a lot of responses from you about different podcast episodes I've done where I'm getting questions and I'm getting people commenting, which is great. By the way, if you have not yet subscribed to this podcast and or liked it or rated it, please do so. That increases the audience. More people on here, we get more awareness. I can get better guests. Please subscribe if you have not already. Like it, subscribe, give me 5 stars, unless you got something really nasty to say, and then keep it to yourself. It's a quick formula. It's called present, past, future. So when you're talking to somebody, doesn't matter if they're in business or not, hey, what do you do, right? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? What does that look like today? And if it is a business person, I guess, right, you can say, what do you do? I know you're the CEO of a company, but what does that mean? What do you do on a regular basis? Tell me about your life, your day. What goes on during that time, right? What else are you involved in? Showing sincere curiosity about what their life is like today. You can ask anywhere between 1 and 100,000 questions about what's currently going on with them. And then you can roll back to past. So what's your story? How'd you get here? Do you have an interesting story? I bet you do. How often do you get asked to share your story? Probably not as often as you'd like to. So imagine if somebody were sincerely curious and they said, what's your story? How might you feel about that? My guess is you'd say, well, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share. So ask somebody about tell me your story. How'd you get to where you are today? And then ask questions. Oh, that seems like a big jump. How'd you go there? Or what caused you to do that? What was the thing that you were thinking? That must have scared the hell out of you. Right? You can ask anywhere between 1 and 1,000 questions there. Engage them in conversation. Show that you're interested in them. Follow the story as long as you want to. And then you can transition to future, which sounds like, man, that's great. Hell, let's pretend that things continue to go well for you. And it's a couple of years from now. What do you hope changes? What do you hope will be different? And then you can ask between 1 and 100,000 questions around that. Don't feel pressure, right? To have these fabulous, to have all these fabulous conversations where you're putting this pressure on yourself. Just ask other people questions. Be the one who's sincerely curious, the one who's interested in other people. The wild thing is you'll learn all kinds of things. You'll automatically create a bond with that person because they'll realize you understand them better than most people do, people they've known a hell of a lot longer. It's really interesting when you do this with your friends, people you've known for a while, and you dig in more deeply about their life. You'll have conversations with them you can't imagine. Highly recommend it. Present. Tell me what you're doing now. Past. How'd you get there? What's your story? Future. Let's pretend things go well. And it's a couple of years from now. What does that look like? What changes? It's a great thing when you're not sure what to talk to somebody else about because everybody's got a current, everybody's got a past. And we assume, at least they dream about their future. Don't miss that. WS sales team, I'm going to cut this short and make it short and sweet. Put this to use. Let me know what you learned. Email me, walker@walkermckay.com, and let me know what you learned, what you uncovered from using present, past, future. Also, if you're wondering what it's like to work with a coach, if you're wondering what it would be like to have somebody that holds you accountable, that helps you get into bigger accounts and close things faster and not get beat up on negotiations, you can hold your own, have equal business stature with everybody you're calling on. If you want to know what that's like, want to have a conversation with me about what it'd be like to invest in yourself and hire a coach, email me, walker@walkermckay.com. Go to my website and click on it and you can set a meeting there. I look forward to talking to you. You'll know it's the right time. Thank you. And I'll see you again next week.